Imagine a town so isolated that ice feels mythical, yet its stories echo your own heartbeats. Welcome to Gabriel Garcia Marquez's mesmerizing masterpiece, 100 Years of Solitude. Macondo. A universe born from ice and dreams, Gabriel Garcia Marquez opens 100 Years of Solitude with a scene so vivid it burns itself into memory. Colonel Aureliano Buendia facing the firing squad, recalling the day his father took him to discover ice. That single sentence contains the entire atmosphere of the novel: danger, wonder, prophecy, and cyclical time. And it ushers us straight into Macondo, a town Marquez modelled partly after his own childhood home in Aracataca, Colombia. Macondo begins as an Edenic settlement carved out of the steaming jungle by José Arcadio Buendia and his indomitable wife, Ursula Iguaran. They haul house beams through swamps, trade with wandering gypsies, and dream of connecting their village to the wider world. Yet even from its founding, Macondo is suspended between reality and the miraculous. Magnets pull metal from walls, alchemists promise gold, ghosts stroll through kitchens, and insomnia plagues everyone until they forget the names of ordinary objects. Marquez filters these marvels through a matter-of-fact tone, making the extraordinary feel domestic and the domestic feel extraordinary. The result is a chronicle that stretches across a century, following 7 generations of the Buendia family through civil wars, plagues, banana company massacres, and torrential rains that last nearly 5 years. By the final pages, Macondo is quite literally wiped from the map, fulfilling the gypsy Melchiades' prophecy that the town was condemned to 100 years of solitude because its founders could not escape their repeating obsessions. Even ice itself melts into legend, leaving only fevered memory. Characters caught in an eternal carousel. At the heart of Marquez's novel are the Buendias, a family so large that readers often consult the famous genealogical chart printed at the front of most editions. Yet each Buendia, despite sharing names and temperaments, reveals a distinct yearning. José Arcadio Buendia, the patriarch, obsesses over alchemy and astronomy, convinced he can remake the universe through pure will. Ursula, living to nearly 120, embodies practicality and endurance, stitching shrouds, baking sweets, and warning her descendants against incestuous desire. Their sons split along symbolic lines. Impetuous José Arcadio follows his body's call, while contemplative Aureliano forges 32 gold fishes during pauses between revolutionary campaigns. As generations pass, the repetition of names, Arcadio, Aureliano, Amaranta, feels like an echo chamber where time loops back on itself. Each new child inherits an unfinished longing from an ancestor, the thirst for adventure, the fear of solitude, the temptation toward forbidden love. Even the women, often overlooked in patriarchal histories, command the narrative. Fernanda, trapped by aristocratic delusions. Renata Remedios, who floats into the sky while folding sheets. And Pilar Ternera, whose tarot cards predict tragedies no one can avert. Marquez suggests that true solitude is not the absence of people, but the inability to break patterns. The Buendias are surrounded by lovers, soldiers, and ghosts, but a profound loneliness clings to them because they cannot translate their passions into connection. Their tragedy feels intimate precisely because we, too, recycle mistakes through families, friendships, and nations. History loops, hearts remain unanswered. Magical realism, the ordinary cloaked in the impossible. When critics coined the term magical realism, they might as well have pasted it onto Marquez's forehead. In 100 Years of Solitude, the magical is never ornamental. It is a language for truths that journalism or straightforward realism cannot reach. Take the rain of yellow flowers that falls when the beloved patriarch José Arcadio II dies, blanketing the village in fragrant grief. Or the tiny alchemist's laboratory that expands in a dreamlike elasticity, accommodating inventions too large for its walls. These episodes feel surreal, yet they mirror emotional realities familiar to anyone who has experienced love, death, or revolution. Marquez once said that Latin America's history is itself a barrage of the unbelievable, from conquistador myths to dictators declaring themselves eternal. By weaving wonders into everyday routines, an insomnia plague cured by a rolling circus, or a priest who levitates after sipping hot chocolate, he reminds readers that reality is subjective, filtered through culture, memory, and desire. The narrator's neutral tone is crucial. By listing a levitation next to a banana price, he invites us to question authority and embrace multiplicity. Sound familiar? Our own news feeds juggle crypto fortunes, climate catastrophes, and celebrity scandals in the same breath. The style also amplifies colonial critique. Foreign banana companies massacre workers, an atrocity so immense the government literally erases it from public record, as though magic made corpses vanish. Marquez flips the spell, showing that official histories can be the most fantastical fictions of all. For any thoughtful reader, Why Solitude Still Resonates After Half a Century, published in 1967, 100 Years of Solitude exploded onto the literary scene, selling out its first print run in a week, and eventually winning Marquez the 1982 Nobel Prize. Yet the novel has endured not merely as a milestone of Latin American literature, but as a mirror held up to humanity's repeating obsessions. Readers in wildly different cultures recognize themselves in the Buendia's cycles of hope, violence, and longing. Scholars point out the book's allegory of post-colonial Latin America, utopian independence crumbling under foreign intervention, corrupt politics, and the weight of unprocessed trauma. Psychologists, meanwhile, cite the novel as a stunning case study in generational memory, illustrating how unspoken grief travels like an underground river. Even technologists borrow its famous line, races condemned to 100 years of solitude, when warning about social media echo chambers. The novel's structure also prefigures today's binge-watch storytelling. Sprawling ensemble cast, overlapping timelines, and a finale that folds the opening sentence back onto itself. But perhaps the most enduring reason for its relevance is emotional. Marquez captures the ache of trying to stitch individual lives into a coherent story when history itself feels chaotic. His answer is both sobering and hopeful. Cycles may repeat, but the act of witnessing, of reading, remembering, retelling, grants us a chance to break them. That's why new generations keep opening the door to Macondo, smelling the scent of guavas, and daring to believe that understanding the past can still rewrite the future. And that hope is contagious. If this journey through Macondo sparked your imagination, hit like, subscribe for more book deep dives, and share your favorite Marquez moment in the comments. Let's keep the magic spinning together today.